The mama could be on the run? Wait, what?
P-A-S-C-A-L. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up? The Minnesota Monster's own mother goes into hiding. People are wondering where she is. There is no sign of her whatsoever. There are reports of this woman actually not cooperating with police, lawyering up, and leaving the state in which this whole tragedy happened. They have now police going out to her place in Naples, a condominium in Naples now, trying to get a hold of her, and yet she's nowhere to be found. So where is this mama? Where is the Minnesota Monster's mom, and why would she be running like this? Again, guys, this is some very interesting stuff. We got to jump right into this. This is absolutely insane. And there's a few takeaways here that I think are very, very interesting. Not only is this woman on the run, but we also now have heard, or possibly on the run, or possibly in hiding. I mean, I don't know. You could call it on the run, you could call it in hiding, but she ain't talking to nobody and she's nowhere to be found, which is weird. That's what I think. But there are some takeaways here that I think are very, very interesting for you guys to gather with this whole situation. As we already know the assailant's name, we are not going to say that person's name on this channel anymore. Okay, we've already covered that. You already seen the person's face. You know the person's name and what their name used to be and all that stuff. Okay. One thing is for sure, though, could this be an admission of guilt? Could this be an admission of responsibility or lack of responsibility in taking care of their kid? Okay, which is very interesting. Like I said, there could be a track record of breadcrumbs or warning signs leading up to this unbelievable tragedy. So let's take a look at this. As you see, cops descend on this assailant's mom, okay? This monster's mom, okay? Cops descend on condo of Minneapolis, this Minneapolis monster's mom after she refused to cooperate with investigation, as now we're hearing that there were previous police visits to her home in the past, guys, which is obviously very interesting, to say the least. So, as they say, federal agents descended on a Florida condo belonging to the mother of this monster, okay, after she refused to cooperate with authorities investigating this unbelievable attack. Now, we already understand 17 people were injured, 14, or apparently now the number has gone up, they corrected it, 15 kids were injured out of the 17. 2 have lost their lives. 2 are also in critical condition, and that's what we have right now, okay? This monster walked in, or not even walked in. He barricaded the front door, went off to the side of the church, opened fire, of course, hurting a bunch of people and taking the lives of a few. Nonetheless, this is all a travesty. This is all absolutely insane, and the parents need to be brought in and asked some questions. And if there is accountability that needs to be hoisted onto the parents as well, then that might be the situation here. Okay, we might be seeing an Ethan Crumbly situation, and I would feel maybe rightfully so. So let's continue on. Plainclothes FBI agents could be seen in video footage arriving at Mary Grace Westman's Naples, Florida condominium and banging on the door as windows and shades were shuttered. When they received no answer at the front door, the agents actually scurried to the backyard, to the back door, and of course there was no success getting access to this woman either. So she's definitely in hiding. She could very well be in Naples, or she could be somewhere else. Okay, the feds are apparently not the only ones looking to speak with Westman on Wednesday and hours after this mass tragedy. Deputy vehicles from the local sheriff's office were circling the Berkshire Lakes condominium complex. So they went all the way out of their way to go down to Florida to try to have a conversation with this woman, and this woman is nowhere to be found. Okay, the federal response to her home came as it was revealed police received disturbing calls from the family's Minneapolis home years earlier. It is now believed Mary Grace, the mom, fled the home on Wednesday, as police in Minneapolis have not been able to speak to her concerning her 23-year-old child's horrific rampage at Annunciation Catholic Church. So we are hearing that 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel, and 10-year-old Harper Moisky, hopefully I'm saying those last names correctly, were unalived in this unbelievable situation. And now they're saying 18 others, not 17, but 18 others were injured when this monster opened fire during morning mass. Now, this is Mary Grace right here. Okay, Mary Grace Westman, the mother of this monster. Okay, and I have questions too. Okay, I think we all have questions. What the hell actually happened here? And you can see FBI go all the way down to Florida to try to get in contact and conversation with her, and she's nowhere to be found. All right, she's not cooperating with police, which is wild. Okay, we have not been successful in talking to this monster's mother. Okay, this is what they said, the police chief said in a press conference. Hours later, it emerged that Mary Grace has retained an attorney to represent her out of abundance of caution. Because, of course, I wouldn't be surprised. I get her being concerned and scared that the general public is very upset with her, okay, and they want answers. But at the same time, hiding is not helping the situation at all. Running is not helping the situation at all either. She is completely distraught about the situation and has no culpability, but is seeking an attorney to deal with calls like this. This is what an attorney said to the news. Meanwhile, residents in the area were left shocked as news of Mary Grace's connection to this situation, to this monster and this tragedy is now spreading. She also worked at the Annunciation Church, or the school, up until her retirement in 2021. And her kid, they also graduated from the school, in 2017. So now we have that information too. More insight on maybe the household or how this kid was brought up, or if there's any history of mental health issues. This is clearly a sign, breadcrumbs right here. So it also emerges that on Thursday, the Westman family has had officers called to their home in Minnesota, Hastings, Minnesota, at least twice before. So in January 2018, a police officer in Eagan, Minnesota, was dispatched to the family's home over a mental health issue. According to a heavily redacted police report, the officer notes in the report that he, quote unquote, assisted the Mendota Heights with a check welfare on a juvenile. Now that, of course, I'm assuming it's this person, But the name of that juvenile and what exactly prompted the police to be summoned to the 3-bedroom home were actually redacted. But you could see, this, to me, we can hear that something's up, Police were also dispatched to the Westman home 2 years prior when they responded to a report of a criminal offense. That report was blacked out, They blacked out all the details describing the event. And I'm assuming it's because it had to do with a minor. I'm assuming, Now, but the report, still, O'Hara said authorities did not have any information indicating that this monster suffered any type of mental health issues that would preclude the individual from obtaining weapons of any kind, which is under Minnesota's red flag law. So again, it does make you wonder if there was a history of mental health issues and this particular person obtained these weapons legally. They're saying that there was no information, that like there was no red flags. There was no updates like, oh yeah, he was admitted to a hospital. There was this, that, and the third. So that's what's interesting as well, which in my personal opinion, it does make you wonder why. Now, I know some people, have their opinions about that, but I truly think that if you've been admitted or if you have been cops called on you for mental health issues, especially if it's violent acts, they say right here, a report of a criminal offense, Clearly, these are people that should not be holding on to weapons in the first place. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is not a situation, okay, where that particular person should ever be able to hold onto a weapon. This also makes me think of what happened in New York City, right? That madman walked into that building, took the lives of many, many people, right? He claimed to have CTE. He was all jacked up in the head. Apparently his message was for the NFL and all that stuff. I mean, it's crazy, okay? But he also had a history of mental health issues. It was flown under the radar, and he was able to obtain weapons. And of course, that's still a question. Was he able to obtain those weapons legally or not legally? You see what I'm saying? So nonetheless, this is something that is just so strange to me. The mom needs to speak. I mean, there also is an ex-husband, from my understanding as well. The ex-husband, the mom, etc. They all need to get interrogated. Running off, going on the run, hiding from police, etc. does not help your cause, does not help your situation, and it makes the general public even more upset with you. So if you're watching this video, okay, Miss Mary Grace, I would say just do the right thing, have conversations with police, and let's get down to the bottom of this situation, all right? Because I know you don't want to be held accountable, but I feel like no matter what, justice is coming. And if it means that you got to be held accountable, then so be it. That's what's going to be handed to you. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Crush that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well. And we'll be talking here very, very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.